Imagine this. You're hurtling through the sky, totally hopeless, descending through the clouds, and like...
Your heart is just pounding.
Exactly. And the clock is ticking down to this completely impossible deadline.
Yeah.
And, I mean, this isn't a spy movie. It's not a bank heist.
Nope.
You are literally just a regular person trying to get from Kaohsiung to your vacation in Hokkaido.
Right. The much-anticipated vacation.
Yeah. So today, our deep dive takes us directly into this massive online thread of frequent flyers, transit logs, and honestly, some pretty intense cultural commentary. Yeah. We are decoding the survival tactics of a notoriously brutal layover at Hong Kong International Airport.
And I gotta say, we basically had to sprint into the studio today just to get into the right headspace for this.
Oh, totally. I'm still out of breath.
Honestly, reviewing the data and reading these firsthand survival accounts, I mean, it spiked my cortisol levels. We are talking about a 55-minute transit scenario that requires, like, the physical preparation of an elite athlete.
It's wild. Yeah. And a total suspension of disbelief, which is exactly the mission for our deep dive today. We're exploring how a simple, logistical airport transforms into a full-contact, extreme sport.
Yeah, an extreme sport is the perfect way to put it.
The internet has legitimately dubbed this specific connection the Cathay Cup. To really understand the cultural phenomenon in this sprint, you have to understand the terrifying math that sets it in motion.
The math is brutal.
It really is. Let me set the scene for you. You're sitting in economy. Your plane lands in Hong Kong at 09:05 in the morning.
Okay.
Your next takeoff, the flight that actually gets you to Hokkaido, is at 10:000. You have 55 minutes.
Just 55 minutes.
Yeah. And that is not 55 minutes of, like, leisurely strolling to a duty-free shop to test out luxury colognes.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
Because to understand why 55 minutes is a full-blown crisis, we have to look at the mechanism of the minimum connect time, or the MCT.
Right, the MCT.
Yeah. In the aviation world, the MCT isn't just a suggestion. It is a hard-coded integer in a global booking database. It's the absolute bare minimum window that an airline's algorithm calculates a human being theoretically needs to get from an arriving plane to a departing plane.
Theoretically being the key word there.
Exactly. It factors in average walking speeds, average security queue percentiles, terminal geography, and for this specific route at Hong Kong International Airport, the MCT is calculated at exactly 50 minutes.
Wait. If the terminal is 1.3 kilometers long and boarding typically closes, what, 15 to 20 minutes before takeoff?
Yeah, usually 20.
How does a 50-minute connection mathematically work? Are the airlines just assuming we can teleport? Because if you land at 09:05 and your ticket gives you 55 minutes to connect, that leaves a margin of error of basically zero.
It is essentially a tightly coupled gear system. One misaligned tooth jams the entire machine.
Wow.
I mean, the airline's algorithm assumes a frictionless environment, but reality is full of friction.
Oh yeah, like the guy in front of you.
Right. If the wind blows the wrong way on your descent and delays you by 3 minutes, or if the person in row 12 takes an extra 2 minutes struggling to pull their awkwardly shaped roller bag out of the overhead bin.
It's always row 12.
Always. Your entire margin of error is instantly evaporated.
Which really makes me wonder why they even sell a ticket that is mathematically this terrifying.
You might think a 55-minute connection is just about lacing up your shoes and walking fast, but your fate is actually often sealed before you even land.
Based entirely on the shape of your aircraft.
Yes.
The A321 versus wide-body factor that was mentioned heavily in the frequent flyer thread, this part completely blew my mind.
It's a huge deal.
If you fly in on a massive wide-body jet like a Boeing 777 or an Airbus A350, you generally get a normal gate attached to the main terminal.
Right, because wide-body jets carry more passengers and higher-paying cargo, so the airport's architectural hierarchy prioritizes them. They need the dual jet bridges to disembark 300 people quickly.
But if you fly in on a narrower aircraft, like an Airbus A321, you are significantly lower on that architectural hierarchy.
We're basically at the bottom.
Yeah, there's a very real chance you are banished to a remote bay or a satellite terminal. And a remote bay means you are exiting down a flight of air stairs straight onto the tarmac.
Which means the shuttle bus.
Yes. It means you're waiting for a shuttle bus. If you have a 55-minute layover and you step off the plane to see a shuttle bus waiting for you, That is no longer a 55-minute walk. That is a 55-minute heart attack.
Because the shuttle bus mechanism is the great equalizer. It completely neutralizes your ability to hurry.
You're just trapped.
Literally trapped.
Yeah.
The bus stores take forever to close. It drives at a heavily regulated 15 kilometers per hour. It has to yield to taxiing aircraft, baggage carts, everything. It easily eats 15 to 20 minutes of your precious 55-minute window before you even set foot inside the actual terminal.
He's doing deep, aggressive lunges by the galley. He's wearing moisture-wicking running gear, double knotting his Nikes, just mentally preparing for war.
And we cannot ignore the biological reality of the advice to, quote, switch to mouth breathing for the final 1.3-kilometer dash.
Mouth breathing.
It sounds absurd, but it highlights exactly what is being asked of your body. You are dragging a carry-on suitcase which constantly shifts your center of gravity while forcing your body into an anaerobic state just to make an octing flight.
It perfectly ties into the cultural observation from the locals in the thread, too.
Yeah.
Because Hong Kong International isn't like other airports.
No, it is not.
Think about the last time you had a layover in a regional airport. There is a leisurely pace. People are browsing magazines, sipping lattes, just wandering toward their gate.
Yeah, that pace simply does not exist in Hong Kong.
No. The baseline walking speed of the average person in that terminal is essentially an Olympic power walk.
It's an island metropolis built on hyper-efficiency, and that cultural pace bleeds directly into the airport's ecosystem.
One local in the thread explicitly said, and I quote, "Slow people in Hong Kong were eliminated by Darwinism long ago."
Survival of the fastest.
Literally. If you cannot maintain a blistering pace, the ecosystem of the terminal will just absorb you. You will become a permanent fixture in the duty-free perfume section.
It is a hyper-optimized, high-pressure environment. But what becomes immediately apparent when you dig into the transit logs is that no amount of galley lunges or strategic mouth breathing can prepare you for the complex geometry of the terminal itself.
Right, because you don't know where you're going.
Exactly. You are navigating multiple floors, escalators, transit trains, and security checkpoints while your heart rate is maxed out.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Because to survive this Darwinian sprint, you need a local guide. Which brings us to the true, undisputed legends of the Cathay Cup.
The airline ground staff.
Yes, the thread completely rebranded this connection into an international Grade 1 sprints event. One user literally wrote out a full play-by-play sports commentary. Like, he's rounding the corner at gate 42, he's losing steam, the roller bag is wobbling, but wait, here comes the pacer.
The ground staff are the unsung mechanical heroes, keeping the MCT algorithm from collapsing. The imagery described in the source material is just awe-inspiring.
It really is.
You have a panicked traveler sweating through their shirt, gasping for air in high-performance running shoes, at home field advantage. They know every shortcut, every blind corner, and the optimal angle to take through the crowds.
And if you're late enough, the sources reveal you actually unlock this bizarre, hidden VIP experience.
Oh, this part is wild.
You don't even have to navigate the maze yourself. The second the cabin door opens, you step off the plane, and there is a ground staff member holding a physical placard with your name on it.
It perfectly illustrates the paradox of modern air travel. If you are slightly early, you wait in a massive queue at a transfer desk. But if you are disastrously mathematically late, you are suddenly treated like a visiting dignitary.
You get what the thread described as the Red Sea moment.
The Red Sea moment, yes.
The ground staff whisks you away through these secret, staff-only security channels that everyday passengers don't even know exist. And when you finally hit the main concourse, the staff member is parting the crowds of slow-moving tourists like Moses.
Though logistically, it's less like a biblical miracle and more like a snowplow on a crowded highway.
True.
The ground staff are using the absolute authority of their uniform and their posture to force a slipstream through a solid wall of wandering travelers, allowing the panicked passenger to draft right behind them.
But, okay, we have to address the massive caveat hidden in the sources, which really exposes the deep sociology of the airport. There's an entirely different set of rules depending on what class of ticket you hold.
Ah, yes, the hidden mission.
If you are flying business class or first class, and you are delayed, the airline might actually just hold the connecting plane for you.
Must be nice.
Right. Or, at the very least, a private electric golf cart materializes to drive you those 1.3 kilometers while everyone else jumps out of your way.
The electric carts are the ultimate trump card in terminal geometry. They turn a 20-minute physical gauntlet into a 3-minute breeze.
But for everyone else holding an economy ticket, it's the Hunger Games.
Total Hunger Games.
You are on foot, gripping your boarding pass, and may the odds be ever in your favor.
Precisely. You are sprinting for your life, drafting behind your high-heel pace setter, dodging duty-free shoppers, until you finally reach the climax of the event, the boarding gate.
The glorious finish line of the Cathay Cup.
You stumble down the jet bridge, you cross the threshold of the aircraft, and the absolute second you step inside, you hear the heavy mechanical thud of the cabin door slamming shut behind you.
The ultimate finality.
You were the final piece of the puzzle.
And the psychological whiplash is intense. You go from a state of primal, adrenaline-fueled anxiety, literally fighting for survival against the clock, to suddenly sitting quietly in seat 42J.
It emphasizes how wildly subjective the experience of this single physical space can be, depending entirely on the timeline dictated by your ticket. For the 5-year-old with 10 hours, the airport isn't an obstacle course. It is a sprawling, endless city.
Just massive.
It is an eternity of waiting areas, carpeted playgrounds, and pure boredom. Time dilates. But for you, the traveler with 55 minutes, that exact same 1.3-kilometer physical space shrinks into a blurry, high-speed tunnel of terror where time is compressing.
So what does this all mean? We look at this whole bizarre spectacle. The passengers doing lunges in the galleys, the Darwinian power walking, the ground staff parting the crowds.
The left-behind luggage.
Yes, the automated conveyor belts abandoning your luggage. And you really have to reflect on the sheer absurdity of the victory. You won the Cathay Cup, congratulations.
Hooray.
But you are sitting in your seat, physically exhausted, completely separated from your winter clothes, and you have to ask yourself, was the $200 savings on that tight connection ticket really worth the 5 years of life you just lost from the cardiovascular stress?
It is a profound question of modern travel economics. The airlines have essentially gamified the transit experience. We willingly trade our peace of mind and our checked baggage for a marginally cheaper fare and a mathematically terrifying itinerary.
Precisely. So for you listening, the takeaway here is crystal clear. The next time you are booking a flight and the algorithm casually suggests a 50-minute layover in Hong Kong, you have a choice.
You really do.
You can either pay a little more for the comfortable 3-hour layover, or you need to pack your running shoes in your carry-on, stretch your hamstrings, and prepare yourself for the ultimate athletic event. Because if they sold it, they'll make it happen, but they're going to make you work for every single second of it.
This raises an important question, though. Something for you to ponder the next time you find yourself desperately sprinting through a terminal, dragging a roller bag behind a pacer.
Yeah.
If the airlines have perfectly calibrated human adrenaline, ground staff heroics, and staff-only security channels to exactly 50 minutes, are these hyper-optimized transit hubs actually redefining human physical limits? Are the aviation algorithms secretly turning us all into unwitting Olympic athletes just to see if we can beat the clock?